What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. Now, everybody has been asking me to review this whole debate between Pearl and Anna Kasparian. I can't stand neither one of these chicks, but I was all like, you know what? Let me go ahead and check it out. So I actually did watch the whole thing a few days ago, and then I was like, I'm not reviewing this shit. But there's certain things that I wanted to point out because Pearl, for one, is not a great debater. Two, she freezes and stumbles. And then three, at times she goes completely quiet and silent and doesn't say anything, just stares blankly. This debate was a mess. So now that I thought about it, let's go ahead and check out a little bit of it, and I'll give you guys my thoughts and opinion. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it, y'all. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Okay.
Oh, and the debate is basically about, of course, Pearl is talking about how women are taking advantage of men for alimony, child support. And so Anna is obviously the other side of the argument. And so this is what they're debating. Child support, alimony, women need to work and not be taking money from men and all this other shit, right? Here we go.
Alimony and medical care and dental are not covered by that, so a lot of times it does go above 50%. Again, you can go through the facts, the data, and the statistics and manipulate them any way that you want.
It's not manipulation.
There are 1.6 million. There are 1.6 million men in this country. Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after a divorce.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's lower.
Really? What is it? Comparative analysis is real difficult for you, isn't it?
Okay.
Go ahead, Pearl.
What's your next question?
You have asserted that men shouldn't get married, that instead they should shack up.
I didn't say that.
You did say that with Trent Horn.
That.
Word for word, you said it makes more sense for them to shack up.
Now that clip has gone viral. I've seen that clip. Anna's telling the truth about that.
Live with a girlfriend instead of getting married. Do you think the advice that you give to men is the type of advice that will fulfill their lives? Because I'll tell you one thing, the best part of my life is my husband. I love my husband. He's my rock. He's my foundation. And no, my husband is number one. I love my career, but you know what my career did? When I met my husband, my career was already established. He, on the other hand, was couch surfing. He was in debt and didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. I married him anyway. You want to know why? Because
oh, she paid for her husband. Okay. I know I'm wrong for that. I'm wrong. Okay, I'm sorry.
I had the economic freedom to marry for love, not for some Chad to take care of me.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's 6'1", about your height. None. I don't want kids.
Let's not do shouting questions from there, please. Allow these two to debate each other.
Notice the crowd is helping because they know Pearl is losing this whole debate.
Okay, what's your question?
I mean, you don't really have much to answer, so I don't know what else to ask you. Do you think you're helping men by discouraging them from entering fulfilling marriages?
What happens to men if they don't pay child support?
I mean,
what happens? What happens, Anna?
How many men do you think get arrested?
She didn't even answer the question. She answered the question with a question and threw it completely off.
I don't know what the number is, but the idea that there's like a huge number of men getting arrested for not doing what they're supposed to do
15%
and take care of their children, it's not a huge issue.
What happens to men when they don't
really
pay child support?
Only 60% of child support payments get paid out.
You got to allow her to interrogate you, not them. You got to stop yelling questions at her.
You can minimize men's problems all you want, but I don't think you understand how privileged of a position you're in.
In what way? How am I privileged?
Men are the ones that are on the hook for child support. Men are the ones that are on the hook for alimony. It's easy for you to tell men to just take the risk when you're not in that position.
So are you asserting that men shouldn't pay child support following a divorce? Do you believe that women should be financially responsible 100% after a divorce?
Feminists wanted to be equal. So I say be equal. If you guys want equality, 50-50 custody, no child support, no.
If you guys want equality, don't you got a vagina, lady? Like that includes you. The grift speaks for itself, because I'm all like, does she think that she's a man? She realized she's a woman, right? Like I'm supposed to be arguing her side because I'm the man, but Pearl is just so stupid that what?
Alimony, no special privileges.
Alimony is paid out in 10%
it doesn't
of
matter
divorces.
If you're part of the
it does
10%.
matter. It does matter, because you make it seem like it's a widespread issue when it's only 10%.
Doctrine is a sexist law.
A lot of people don't have money like that. So, I mean, we hear about these Hollywood marriages, but like me and you getting married, yeah, we ain't got shit to split. I live in my uncle's house. Well, what we splitting? This candle right here?
Law against men. That's sexist.
How is it sexist if a woman decided to forego a career, decided to be a stay-at-home mother, and the marriage doesn't work out? She has no job, she has no income. So you think it's unfair to get support from her ex-husband so she can raise the kids?
60%,
so she can pay.
60% of kids under 5 have daycare. Daycare is an option now. You wanted to be men.
Do you know how much daycare costs?
You wanted to be men. Here you
Do you know how much daycare costs? Do you think it's free?
Let her answer. Let her answer.
A lot of things are.
Pearl, are you? What? And Anna's right. Like, daycare is not free. Like, what are you talking about, lady?
They're expensive, Anna. I mean, it's
that's
men.
That's not an answer.
Women have 85% of consumer spending. Women spend money all the time. You spend money on hair dye. You spend money on Botox. You spend money.
You should think about it.
On the.
I sure am.
You spend money all of the time.
Yep.
So you wanted to be men. Here it is. You're equal. Pay for daycare.
Equality means that when you have a child or children, you're both responsible. So the idea that the woman should take 100% of the costs on herself without any help from her husband or ex-husband is ridiculous. How is that fair?
Well, how is it fair that he doesn't get 50-50 custody?
Well, first of all, why are you asserting that they don't?
It's 50% his DNA. Why can't he have 50% custody? Where
there
has
was a study. Let me answer your question, even though I should be interrogating you. I'll answer your question. Massive study out of Massachusetts that looked at 24,000 divorces. In those 25 divorces, they found that in only 8% of cases did men ask for custody. 8%.
Right, because the average American can't afford divorce fees, Anna.
But women can afford to raise the children by themselves without support from.
You can get a waiver for a divorce, by the way. Don't let nobody tell you, oh, I can't get a divorce because it's too expensive. You can get a waiver. That's bullshit.
The ex-husband. How does that make sense?
What did you say? I didn't hear you. We were both talking.
You're complaining about the costs while simultaneously arguing that a woman should not get child support in order to raise the children that the former couple had together.
Are you guys equal or not? You want to?
Yes.
So if they're equal, then they should be paying, their fair share for housing, food, schooling, daycare. Like, everything should be split down the middle. I have no problem with that. But what Pearl is saying is that the woman should take care of the kids, pay for everything, and shouldn't ask the man for nothing. Nothing at all. Now, in a perfect world, listen, oh, shut up. Don't judge me. Judge your mama. Do not judge me. In a perfect world, that sounds great, but that's not reality at all.
Equality means that
All
you're
right.
both responsible
50
for raising the children, and that includes the
so
cost
you should have
of raising the
equality,
children.
but not at the expense of men. 50-50 custody, 50-50, no child support, no alimony. That's equality. You don't want
Alimony
equality.
makes sense if
You
the
want-
woman was
you
a
want-
stay-at-home mother and doesn't have a source of income. How else would she take care of the kids following a divorce?
By getting a job just like the men.
So you're saying that a woman who
Well, here's the thing: if she doesn't have a job and she then has to get a job, that means that she needs to get on her feet. So in turn, she still needs funding or money from the ex-husband in order to get on her feet. Now, I'm not saying that she should just be taking his money for the rest of her life and not get a job. No, she need to get a job, but she needs something to get on her feet. It don't work like that, Pearl.
who doesn't have recent job history is just going to willy-nilly enter the job force or workforce, I should say, and easily get hired. Do you guys care
Men
about
do
this?
it.
So do you care about the children or not? Because you're making this about like the poor
woman? That's an
husband, the
emotional
poor
argument.
ex-husband who doesn't want to pay the child support, doesn't want, to take on any of the responsibilities of having children in the first place. Why is it that you seem to have a problem with men carrying out their responsibilities? But when it comes to
men are dying to care about their responsibilities. Men
Really?
are fighting to be a part of their kids' lives.
what's the empirical data on that?
I don't need data. How many people in here have had a family or a friend fight for their kid and not be able to get it? The reason that this happens.
Now, Pearl is onto something because I know people in that kind of situation. But the thing is, during the debate, you can't use anecdotal. Like, you can use experiences and stuff like that, but that's more anecdotal, where it's not, okay, this is the percentage of men who try to get custody and can't get custody, blah, blah, blah. Like, she doesn't have that fact. She's just going based off of emotion, which you're not. I thought they didn't go based off of emotion. They went based off facts. She's going off emotion.
Happens, Anna, is because lawyers tell them not to fight because it's so expensive and they won't win.
What is
They
that
won't
based
win.
on? You have to provide, look, Pearl, I am open to be convinced, but I need more than anecdotes. I need more than vibes and feelings, because we're talking about something serious here. We're talking about raising children. We're talking about the shared responsibility of raising children. That, of course, includes the
90%
cost.
of disputed custody goes to women. That's not equal.
90%, that's a totally made up statistic. Where are you citing that from?
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
All right, let's take a break there because our time actually ran up. Those opening interrogations are over. Let's take a moment here. You guys want to grab a sip of water? All right. The next step is going to be 30 minutes. We're going to open it up. Again, open debate. I'd remind you guys, I know everyone's passionate about this. I get that, but you can't have multiple people debating at the same time, right? We've got one debater here.
Yeah, I don't see why he didn't tell the crowd to like shut up. Like, if you scream or say anything, you get kicked out, because that's just ruining the whole thing. But I did look up the statistics. So it says here, mothers are awarded primary physical custody in roughly 80% of U.S. divorce cases. Through this trend is slowly shifted as more fathers seek to obtain shared custody, with some data suggesting around 70 to 80% of custodial parents are still mothers. While courts officially use gender-neutral standards focusing on the child's best interest, historical caregiving patterns often lead to mothers being granted the majority of time, with fathers increasingly receiving joint or primary custody in more cases. Then it further breaks down statistic. Primary custody, 80% of primary custodial parents in the U.S. are mothers. Fathers' involvement, while mothers are often primary custody, there's a growing trend. And I'm trying to see if there's a different statistic here. Okay, so the percentage was actually 80% and not 90%, but She was right about, but Pearl was right that it's a higher percentage. She was right about that. Yes.
We got one debater here. Let's keep it here. All right. Let's put 30 minutes on the clock and let's begin the open debate. Pearl, I'll let you pick up here. Go ahead.
What happens to men when they don't pay child support?
There are consequences for it, especially when
Which
there's
are?
a court order for them to
Which
carry
are?
out their responsibility and pay child support so that child can be raised.
And what
You
happens
Do you
if they
think there
don't?
should be legal
license.
responsibilities?
No, I know they stopped that in California when they take your driver's license. I don't know what they do now.
Or legal consequences if they fail to carry out a court order to, you know, take care of their kids?
I've interviewed men that have paid millions of dollars in
Don't
child
care about your
support and
interviews.
they're-
Anecdotal evidence doesn't matter. What I need is actual statistic, empirical evidence. They should pay their child support. $441
What happens-
is the average child support payment. $441 a month.
Yeah, that's for someone that makes $24,000 a year.
You just told me a woman can just go to work and take care of the kids totally by herself.
How does a guy live when he's paying $500 a month and $24,000 a year?
You think $500 a month is too much in child support? Do you know how much it costs to raise a child? Do you know how much childcare costs, for instance? I mean, that mother has to go to work, right? Where's the kid going to stay while that mother is working? How is she going to pay for the
What happens to men when they don't
daycare.
pay child support?
Sorry, say that again.
What happens to men when they don't pay child support?
There are legal repercussions for not
What-
carrying out a court
Okay.
mandate
Do you think
to
that
do something.
do you think that fraud should be illegal?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why is it not illegal for women to fraud men on paternity? If a man does not find out he's the father over the age of 2,
So they skipped over the whole thing about what happens to men when they don't pay child support, and she moved on to women committing fraud, lying about the baby father or whatever. And y'all, I'm telling you, this whole debate is all over the place. But like I said, so in California, they got rid of that rule about the taking the driver's license, but it is a court order. Now, the whole thing is that it is supposed to go based off your income. If you're lower wage, then, you know, you pay less or whatnot. Now, again, some judges will screw you over and they will make you pay a lot more than what you were expecting. So again, just know if you are in a higher tax bracket, you're going to be paying more, you know, and we can talk about how, you know, that's not fair. But again, Pearl is not going by any kind of fact. She's just going on feelings and anecdotal stuff that she heard on a podcast. Now, that might work when she online with all those buffoons and they arguing back and forth and she's rage baiting them. But this is not going to work in this scenario at all.
he is on the hook for child support for 18 years.
I don't know
Where
what the
have you
law
been on
is
this
when it
issue?
comes to
A
that,
third-
but it's wrong. If you're lying about paternity, that is wrong, and there should be legal
Well,
consequences.
why haven't
that.
feminists fought?
It's that simple.
Then why aren't feminists fighting for it, Anna?
Because feminists fight for women, obviously.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah.
At the expense of men.
But also, too, what percentage of that is women defraud men on the paternity? Like, is there a high percentage of that? Because, I mean, if there is, then shit. But you can also get back child support if the child is not yours as well, too.
You guys want to believe women at the expense of men. Why isn't Amber Heard in jail? Because of the Me Too movement. You guys pushed believing all rape victims, and now we have rape.
Amber Heard had to pay out a
Johnny-
massive settlement.
Yeah, but why isn't she in jail?
You want her in jail?
Yes.
Well,
She ruined
the
his
penalties
life.
for defamation are what the court's decision is, right? You want people to go to prison for defamation?
He had to go to 2 different countries to clear his name. Why
okay.
isn't she in jail? He lost millions of dollars.
To be clear, you think the penalty for defamation is prison time.
I think the penalty for a false accusation is that the woman should get the same time that he would have gotten if he was found guilty.
Men don't go to prison for defamation.
And see, this is the problem with feminists. You want
defamation is like civil, that it's not criminal.
all these freedoms, but you won't actually be equal.
I do want equality.
No, if you wanted to be equal, you would fight for 50-50 child support, no alimony.
No alimony. So again, if a woman,
It seemed like she was about to say something, and then she completely like,
decided to forego working, decided to stay home to raise the children, and the marriage doesn't work out, she's got no income whatsoever, she doesn't deserve any alimony.
Women aren't even doing that. Number one, that's not even a women are not staying home with the kids. And number two, you have daycare.
A lot of women do these days.
You have daycare.
The traditional women who want to stay home, they want to be traditional wives. And you trash them all the time, which I don't understand.
Look,
it seems like women can't do anything right when it comes to you, right? They're stay-at-home moms, they're traditional, they're...
I understand that you can personally attack me.
I'm not personally attacking you.
Okay.
These are things that you have said on the record multiple
not
times.
full Karen.
But if you cared about equality, you would care about false accusations.
I do care about false accusations.
No, you don't.
You don't know me. You don't know what I care about.
Look, all right. Let's talk about rights that men do not have. Men do not have the right to be enlisted in selective service. You know, we have 125K men who are drafted and buried overseas. Think about that over a second. You talk about the oppressions of the past, but how many men died in World War I and World War II and had no choice?
Now, we haven't had a draft in I don't know how long, but I know when I turned 18, I wasn't drafted. So I don't know why she's talking about something from like the early, y'all. Let me just let it play.
And yet Anna complains about oppression. Men do not have the right to face their accuser in court when they have a false allegation and for personal protection orders that strips constitutional rights away from the man. Women go before a judge and say they don't feel safe, and more than likely a PP order will be issued. The man was not in court, had no say, has no defense, and does not get to face his accuser. That is done en masse, and many servicemen and first responders lose their careers over this because it strips a man's Second Amendment rights away based on no evidence. Men do not have the right to raise their children. Divorce is no fault, but when it comes to child custody, it's always the...
Oh, she's nervous because she's losing. This is why she's just rambling off of different statistics. Like we don't even know where she got this from. She didn't cite her sources. She's just rambling off. Like we don't know.
Man's fault. He loses his children to the system. 96 hours a month the father does not make. Men have longer prison sentences. Women get a third of the time for the same crime. Where are the feminists fighting for equality on that issue? There has been rampant discrimination against better qualified men in hiring across multiple industries. Men pay more child support, and child support orders are not enforced at the same rates between men and women. Women are more likely...
Oh, women pay...
Now, usually, historically, men make more money, so that's why they pay more.
By the way, to pay.
Fascinating.
And are prosecuted for non-payment at lower rates. Men cannot opt out of parenthood. Men have very few domestic violence shelters and are not taken seriously.
She said men cannot opt out of parenthood. Oh, well, technically... I know opted out of parenthood, but hey, I digress.
Violence victims.
I agree on that.
White men in particular are discriminated against when it comes to hiring and educational attainment.
True.
The Duluth model is a model.
Fuck these hoes. What are they talking about? White men are discriminated. Oh my God. And you know, Anna always has to go back to, you know, anything attacking Black people and making them seem like, oh, I can't talk to people of other races because they think I'm racist. Yeah, when you say shit like that, because if you look at the workforce is mostly white men. They're not being discriminated against. And it's funny about the whole DEI because that's a directive coming from the top. Somebody white telling you that we got to get more people in here of color. Like, so the argument is stupid and it's not valid at all. I mean, if anything, if you look at the unemployment rate now, Black men, Black women, our unemployment rate has gone up since 2025.
That law enforcement, courts, and counselors use automatically that assumes men are the aggressor. The tender years doctrine is a guideline in divorce used to justify removing the father from the child's life. The only institutional sexism that exists is institutional sexism that discriminates against men in favor of women. Furthermore, U.S. courts do not require receipts to show how that money is spent by the custodial parent, unless there's overwhelming evidence of starvation, malnutrition, or severe child abuse. There are numerous reports of custodial
You want the
parents
government
spending the
to check
money
receipts
on
and see, like,
let's let her respond to some of that.
hold on, let's understand something. You want government to be so big that you literally have the government looking at receipts to see what a mother is spending the money on? That's insane.
I want no child support, no alimony, 50-50.
Yeah, because you're crazy and you don't live in reality.
I want equality. I'm more of a feminist than you, Anna. Because I say if you want to vote, be in selective service, be on the front lines just like the men are.
Who do you think?
Well, I don't get when she talks about the whole, I believe in 50-50. Just say, I don't believe in child support or alimony. I don't believe that you should get either or. You guys should just separate. That whole 50-50 thing just sounds weird when she says that shit. And I know what she's trying to do. She's trying to grift and say, oh yeah, men have been through so much and they shouldn't be paying all this money to women. Women need to stop being lazy and go get a job and take care of the kids. And the men should just relax. Like I said, in a perfect world, I would love that, but that's not true.
Gives birth to and raises those soldiers.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because you assert that women shouldn't be allowed to vote because they're not all in mandatory military service.
I say be equal. You want to vote, do what the men do. Men are fined
Should women be included in combat? Should women be included in combat?
Yes.
Okay.
Do what the men do.
Fair.
Do what the men do.
Yeah, fair. Agreed. Next. Next? Nothing? Okay. I want to know what your ideal woman is, because if you are a traditional conservative woman who's married, staying at home, raising kids, you trash them.
There's no such thing as a traditional woman. They cannot be traditional in 2025 because women will always have the leverage.
What does that mean? What does it mean that women will always have the leverage?
Women have child support to fall back on. Women have alimony. So automatically
10% of divorces end with alimony settlements.
And
10%.
And they go.
You just ignore the stats.
They
you
go
just move
from
on.
men to women. They go from men to women. Billions of dollars every year.
I thought you said earlier that women are paying alimony.
Billions of dollars of wealth every year is transferred from men to women.
Mm-hmm. Based on what? Where are you getting that information from? You're just making it up?
Look, we have it. We're excited. We can get it to you at the end. You didn't want to submit. Where are your sources? You didn't want to submit them ahead of time. You did.
The Census Bureau, Bureau of Labor Statistics. I cited everything I mentioned. Pull it up. Pearl. The main thing I want people to understand, okay, Pearl's going to trash women no matter what. That's fine.
I'm not trashing
But
them.
my biggest gripe with you is you're discouraging people from entering marriages.
I don't tell men what to do. Sell me on,
you advise men to avoid marriage.
Sell me on marriage. What do men get out of marriage?
That's sad. It's sad that people think that. It really is. You get a partner.
That's the thing about like this online red pill manosphere shit. It like nothing positive comes from it at all. It's a whole bunch of losers, a whole bunch of nerds sitting at home that feel like they have a place called home online because these people, usually it's men, not red hair women, telling them like, hey, it's not you, it's these women. They're 304s, they're this, they're that. Women always complaining. It's all like, do y'all want a woman or do you want to be with a man? Or maybe y'all asexual. It's just weird. And so again, Pearl just fits into that narrative.
You get a teammate, you get to build a life together, and it's beautiful. I feel like misery loves company in this situation. And how would you know what you get out of marriage if you haven't experienced marriage in the first place?
And look at Pearl, like she looks so pissed. Like she's like, This debate is horrible. Anna is slaughtering her, literally.
I'm not saying that as a personal attack. I really hope that Pearl meets the love of her life and gets married. It's not about that. But you trash it without really understanding what the benefits are.
Why do we have phrases like it's cheaper to keep her?
Pearl,
answer the question.
Divorce is expensive. And by the way, on purpose to discourage people from getting divorced in the first place.
Why do we have phrases like happy wife, happy life?
Because it's true. Same with happy husband, happy life. I don't want to come home to an angry husband.
What the fuck does this have to do with anything? Like, oh my God.
But that's not a phrase.
Do you have any other like catchphrase or slogan you want to throw at me?
What do men get out of marriage?
They get a partner
that gains 25 pounds in the first 5 years.
Men get pretty fat too. I don't know if you've done a comparative analysis on that. They actually end up gaining more weight than their wives do.
Ooh, really?
And who cares?
And
I mean, have a conversation with your partner. Encourage her.
Be
an adult.
How can men and women be equal?
Especially if she's giving you children.
How can men and women be equal when one is expected to die for the other?
I don't expect anyone to die for anyone else. I don't know what that even comes from.
Yeah, but men are willing to die for you every day. The men in the police force, the men in the military.
What about the women in the police force?
They're not, they're one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's women too. So what? Yo, she's literally pulling this shit out her ass. Like, this is horrible.
They're 10% and they cause so many problems.
Who cares what percentage women make up of the police force?
Yeah,
they're in the police force. My sister-in-law's a cop, actually.
They can't do the same jobs. There's videos on the internet everywhere of women getting their guns taken because they're not strong enough.
Are you just making things up?
Yeah.
Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously. Next question.
Oh my God. This is painful.
Do you realize how good you have it in this country?
Absolutely. Best country in the world.
And you get to live the life you live at the expense of men.
No, that's not true.
That is true.
Show me how.
Do you know how many men die every year? Just to...
Oh.
There are men that die every year to get you crab.
How many women die every year during childbirth?
Not many.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So
Especially
a lot of
black
women
women.
do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth. Yes.
This is painful, man.
Y'all. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with this, y'all. That was painful to watch, and I'm not a huge Anna fan, but Anna definitely destroyed. She destroyed Pearl, and Pearl got slaughtered. And here's the thing, Pearl, you can't argue or debate online. So why would you ever think that you could go to an event and debate? How much did they pay you? Hopefully it was worth being embarrassed, because also what Pearl is doing is like clipping 3-minute clips of her debating Anna. And I was wondering, like, why is Pearl only posting like 3-minute clips? It's because most of the time she was either repeating herself, standing there looking dumb, or like waiting for Anna to say something. So yeah, man, tell me what y'all thought about the debate. Did you guys watch the whole thing? And let me know if you want that whole hour that you spent watching this, you want that back. Anyway, you guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I love y'all for watching, and thank y'all for all the love and support. But we out. Deuces, everyone.